Hello everybody, how's it going, and welcome to what is, I guess, the Rambler for right now. My name is Justin. You're watching some Tycoon, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. That's what I meant to say. You were watching some footage of that while I talk. And today I'm going to talk about something that came up recently, and interestingly, and we live in a time that's so great that we can have this anyway, and that's eSports and real sports, and the whole arguments and stuff against esports, which I find kind of weird. Now, I think it's amazing that we live in a time where streaming is so common and easy to do, and these professional people can set up professional streams, and these people can compete in video games for, well, real-life cash. In some cases, many thousands of dollars. More than I owe currently on my college, that's for sure. I could probably use one of those prize monies. I'm not good enough, though. Now, you have games that are drawing in all these people, like League of Legends, like Dota 2, CSGO has quite a following now, too. I think Rocket League was even starting to get into some possible stuff. And there's all kinds of games that have talked about it and tried to hold stuff, and have held tournaments in the past, but not really kept them up. But there are ones that are currently very, very constant, and I think they deserve the recognition they're getting. And this is coming from a guy who doesn't really watch them, though I watch some CSGO once in a while, because I think it's entertaining to watch. But yeah, recently too, Cineplex bought a huge deal to host some stuff for $15 million. So evidently it's popular enough for them to, shell some pretty major dough to attract people in. Now, that was when I started to see a lot of stuff like, oh, esports aren't real sports and blah, 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 blah. And there were lots of arguments for it, and I've compiled here kind of what I think is like the top 5 arguments against esports. I'm going to kind of explain to you why, well, for one, they're kind of bullshit, and 2, why esports, even if you don't like the video games, that's fine, whatever, you don't even like the fandom of the video games, they are still legitimate in their own rights. Now, like I said, I don't really watch much in the esports. I watch CSGO sometimes when it's on, and there's something interesting to watch. I don't personally play CSGO, really, but I think it's entertaining to watch. But that's just me, I guess. So, whoopee. So the first argument we'll dive right in against esports and stuff seems to be esports takes no skill. Now, I don't know about you, but I suck at League of Legends. I am terrible at it. The last time I played it was about 2 years ago, and I suck at CSGO too, but that's another story. I played League of Legends about 2 years ago with some friends and stuff, and they still play it a bit, and I think one of them's semi-professional now. But for the most part, they're still kind of mid-range. I never really got there. But League of Legends is a very hard game. It takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of strategy, and it takes a lot of practice. Same with any other sport. Like hockey, for instance. It takes a lot of practice, strategy, skill. You need to be able to do it. You need to be able to want to do it. And not everybody has that. And some people just like watching that. Now, it does. It takes a lot of skill. If you don't think video games and stuff take a lot of skill to actually play to the level that these guys play, by the way, not just mid-range or even, loser range like me, then I beg you, League of Legends is free. Go and download it, play it for a week, every day for a week, and try to get as best as you can at it, and then come back and tell me that you're a professional player at League of Legends, because I can guarantee you that you are probably nowhere near, because the game kicked your ass. People kicked your ass in the game, because they are simply better at you than that. Same goes with any other sports. You cannot just slap on a football helmet and then go and play football. That doesn't work that way. It takes a certain type of person, it takes a certain amount of skill. You can't send Twiggy McTwiggerson in there because he'll get completely slaughtered. Hockey is the same thing. You have to learn how to skate. You have to learn how to skate professionally. You have to learn stick handling. You have to learn how to be in that sport and what it entails. Same goes with esports and video gaming. It's not easy. These guys train for a long time when they're not in tournaments to be and stay at the level they're at. These guys are extremely dedicated to what they do, and You can't just say, oh, well, I can do as good as them if I pick up the damn controller. Not how it works. Any parent knows that that is not how it works, because you don't know up from down. So, it's not an invalid argument. There's a lot of skill involved in League of Legends, a lot of skill involved in CSGO, a lot of skill involved in anything that has anything professional. You can't go into anything professional, sports or otherwise, and expect to be instantly good at it. It's not how it works. Secondly, no chance of injury. This one struck me as odd. I'm going to take a drink of water here. It struck me as odd for one real main reason. Why is injury something that defines sports? Yes, football, players get injured a lot. Hockey, same thing. Baseball, sure, sometimes. Soccer, fake, but sure. Rugby, sure. Golf, not so much. Ping pong, not so much. Cricket, not so much. Stuff like casual sports, not really. Polo, the old people don't really get hurt playing, that kind of stuff. I don't know about polo. You ride horses on polo, don't you? I meant, what's the one on the board called? I'll remember later. But just because people can get injured does not define a sport. I really hear about people getting injured playing like ping pong or something like that, and I think that's in the Olympics, is it not? Swimming, unless you drown, it's kind of hard to get injured. That's in the Olympics too. It's considered a sport. Running, considered a sport, like long distance running and stuff like that. It's considered a sport. You really can't get injured unless you fall and break something. Not seriously anyway, unless you already had something fucked up with you to begin with. Same thing goes with eSports. Why does that have to define it? And to a degree, you can get injured. Long-term injuries are a thing with sports people. Even if you don't get injured in football and, break a leg or something, when you get older, you're probably going to have some muscle issues and stuff like that, or arthritis or something because you played high-intensity sports. Wrestlers, they technically get injured all the time, but down the road, because of that sport, they have problems when they get older. That's just how it is. Esports, same kind of thing. They stare at a screen for long times of the day. A lot of those guys wear glasses. Why do you think that is? Their eyes are probably going to get worse. Their ears are probably going to also get worse because they're listening to high sounds all day. I am a filmmaker. I listen to audio stuff all day. I know audio guys. I know older audio guys. These guys are half deaf because they listen to stuff like that all day. Same thing with these guys. They've got headsets. They have to have the sound up high so they can't hear anything besides what's going on. It's going to damage their ears. They could get carpal tunnel because of all the clicking and the stuff like that. They could get stuff like arthritis. They can get rashes and certain stuff on their backsides and stuff like that because they sit for so long. This is all stuff that they can get. And it's all long-term injuries. Stuff that's going to happen not now, not tomorrow, but down the road. It's possible that some of these guys could go, not blind, but close, bifocals at the very least. Some of them could go deaf earlier than usual, or have hearing problems at a younger age than they should. Because of all of this, this is all injuries. But again, injury does not define sports. Dumb argument. Next. 3. This one's really funny. Not popular, and it never will be. Well, that's not true. The League of Legends World Championships just happened not long after I'm uploading this video, and that drew in hundreds of thousands of people. Hundreds of thousands of people. I think they broke 1 million once or twice. They must have, because they almost did a couple of years ago when I watched it. And these are high-profile teams and stuff going against each other. They're breaking 100,000s. They're breaking Twitch records. There are people on Guild Wars today that hadn't watched it are going to go back and watch it, so that's even more viewers on top, because these guys are going back, watching it, seeing who won. CSGO doesn't have a huge following like League does, or Dota, but there were still, when I watched, who was I watching? It was a Spanish team and a Dutch team, so they weren't like big teams either. These were smaller guys fighting to vie into a spot in the championship tournaments. And there was 150,000 people watching. 150,000 people for these small teams. These scrappy little guys just trying to get their way into the big tournaments. The ones with more viewers because there are more people watching. Sorry, I had to take a drink there. Talking like this intensely kills my throat. But they're saying that it's not popular and never will be is not true as well. It's just not, because these numbers don't lie. They're there, they're transparent. Go on Twitch, watch any League of Legends thing. There's probably at the very minimum 70,000 people watching it at one time. It's just how it is. The professional streams are set up for that. That's how they operate. And they're growing. If you go back and you look at the numbers from every year since it started, look at the growth. There's tons of growth. And it's one of the fastest growing fields in actual sports now. Because they've been recognized, it's now one of the fastest growing sports. So, saying it's not popular, never will be, is complete and utter bullshit. Because the numbers are there, they're very much transparent, you can look at them. It's not an argument. Next, no money in it, and there's no merchandising. Okay, let's break this into two. Merchandising on one, no money in this first. No money in it is not true. It's not to the point of millions of dollars like your, Tom Brady or whoever the fuck it is that plays for the Patriots or Green Bay Packers or whoever gets. And they certainly don't have the scandals either. Although that one guy who was masturbating on stream, that was pretty funny. That was, I think, 2 years ago or something now. Anyway, they're not getting paid like that. For one reason, I don't really think they should. I don't think regular sports people should also get paid that much money. Yeah, it's difficult to play a sport, I agree 100%, but, I don't know, millions of dollars just seems a bit much to me. Anyway, the prize money and stuff for the main tournaments and stuff is a lot of money. Now, League of Legends is one of the biggest shellers out of all of this money. I think one of them was $1 million. In fact, I think the World Championship that just passed was $1 million or somewhere around that line. They were $500,000 ones when I was watching 2 years ago. There were $100,000 ones happening. The CSGO ones had mini ones for $10,000, $20,000. Dota 2, Valve hosted it. It was $100,000 a couple years back. I think it's up even past that now, $250,000. There's a lot of money at stake. These guys want to win it because I want to win $1 million. Hell yeah. That sounds pretty good to me. I got a lot of debt I could pay off. But saying there's no money in it is a complete lie. There is definitely money in it, and it's only ever growing as the viewership goes up, because the more money they can make with advertisements, with sponsorships and stuff like that, the better off they are, because a lot of that prize money, too, you have to keep in mind, is sponsorships. A lot of League of Legends guys are sponsored by PC stuff, like Razer, like SteelSeries, like Logitech, like some computer building companies, like Alienware. They're sponsored, and a lot of money goes into that pot. They get paid for the sponsorship as well, for wearing, Razer gear and all this kind of stuff. They get paid for that. That's money in their pockets. That's income. That's how they make their living. So, saying there's no money in it is a complete lie, because there's proof that there's money in it. Merchandising. No. This one's even more stupid than no money in it. Of course there's merchandising in it. Do you know what video gamers do with their spare money? They buy video game stuff. If they're following a sports team, like, let's say, for example, CLG, they're going to buy CLG stuff, especially when the tournaments start coming around. I imagine they went friggin' gangbusters during the friggin' tournament. Like, holy shit. These guys have websites with shops in them. They sell everything from, like, PC gaming gear, like headsets, mice, and keyboards, to backpacks, to friggin' pens and shit. You can buy it all. Hats, shirts, sweaters, pants, shoes. Like, there was somebody selling shoes, and it was funny, and people bought it. They sold out. If you go on these websites, some of the popular stuff, like hats, sold out. They're selling stuff. People go crazy. It's like any real sports team. Ta-da! We make the comparison in the bridge here. When it becomes especially playoff time, they buy hats. You buy jerseys. And you support your team. That's what these people are doing. They're buying the hats. They're buying the shirts. They're buying the gear because they support their team. They like the team. They want to see the team do well, and they want to have stuff to say, hey, look, dude, my team's awesome. I have a headset from them. They're going to buy it. They're going to spend hundreds of dollars on their team before they finally go broke. Merchandising is huge. Gamers will buy fucking anything with a logo on it that they like. more so maybe even than real sports fans. So merchandising is a totally invalid argument. Last thing that I think, this isn't really an argument, but the last thing that I think, and the reason why these some of these real sports fans are getting so pissy, is these esports and stuff are coming into their turf, as it were. And a lot of these guys that think, sports, yeah, sports, tough guy, bravado bullshit. And gaming and a bunch of geeks are now considered athletes and actual sports, like internationally recognized as a sport? No, I don't think so. Ain't no nerds gonna come in on my thing. So they go and they say, oh, this is all bullshit. Because they're scared of us and gaming in general and what the pussification, as they call it, will do to their kids and all that kind of crap. These are the same people that, throw Bible verses around and have never read the book. So that's what it is. They're scared that their manliness is going to go away, when that's not true, because esports and real sports will always be separated to a degree. It's two very different spectrums, but also very much the same. And discrediting one or the other is not helping anybody's arguments, because you just end up sounding really, really stupid. Now, that's it for me. I just think that I just got tired of seeing stupid people being stupid. What do you guys think about esports? Do you think it should be a fully recognized thing, with athletes being actual athletes, having all the same rights as athletes and whatnot? Or do you think that it's dumb, and give me your reason why, I guess? And or do you agree with me? And have you heard anything stupid? And do you watch any esports and stuff like that? Just leave a comment and stuff. Also, if you want to suggest something for me to talk about on this Rambler thing, then please do leave a comment, something to do with gaming that you think I could talk about that'd be interesting. Definitely do so. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Peace.